One of the questions that I get asked a lot about goal setting is, what is the point of setting really big aspirational goals when you really feel that they are a little bit impossible to achieve? Maybe you don't fully believe that they can happen. And I always respond in the same way. You need to have big, ambitious goals, otherwise you won't begin to take the steps towards achieving them. Having a goal and having a vision are similar, but they're quite different. So the way that I tend to look at it is that having a vision is something that you create when you're imagining maybe your perfect world, maybe your perfect day, your perfect work, whatever that might be. It is your ideal thing that you're aiming for. Now, having a vision and just imagining it isn't going to make it happen. And that is where having the goals in place help you towards taking those steps to achieve that vision. So for example, I held a vision for a long time that I was going to have my own business, working with people like you, taking people on their journey, giving them the space to flourish, and really enabling people to be the best of who they are all the time. I held this vision in my head for a long time, even when I was early in my career and really enjoying the work that I was doing. And actually, even though I had the vision, I wasn't setting any goals to move me to where I wanted to be, because I was really enjoying the work that I was doing and really didn't want to change that at the time. The vision was still there. As my life progressed, my life changed, my perspective changed, and therefore my vision became more enhanced. I began to think a bit more clearly about what it was that this was going to look like for me and how my life might pan out. And when I started to think more in a more committed way, I guess, about my vision, I began to think, okay, so that feels like a really long way away. And if I don't do anything about it, I'm never going to get there. And is it really important to me? Is it a pipe dream? Is it something I really want to do? And if it is something I really want to do, which, by the way, it is, hence why I'm here today, what do I need to do to begin to take steps along that journey to get to where I want to be? Now, that felt like a really big leap, okay? So it's going from kind of a full-time job, work I really loved, to making the leap into kind of full-time self-employment and working with people like you in individual and group settings. So what I had to do was to think about, what are the first steps that are going to take me a bit closer towards achieving that? So for me, the first steps were, what kind of work do I want to be doing? What kind of things do I want to be teaching and sharing that I've learned for myself that I can really pass on to others? And then how do I go about doing that? So for me, one of the early ways that I started testing out my messages, and some of you will know me because you've been around on this journey with me for a long time, was actually just to start sharing some of my opinions, my views, my lessons via social media. And that for me was a way of just testing out, is this kind of what I want to be doing? Am I talking about messages that make me feel really passionate? And what does that look like for me in terms of how I'm sharing? And those of you that have been with me for a while will know that my message has changed. I've evolved, I've grown, my work has changed, my background has sort of evolved, I've learned more things along the way. So life changes, but my vision is still the same. The things that I'm doing every day now to take me towards that vision have changed. So 5 years ago, when I was thinking about posting on social media, I wasn't really posting with any real intention other than just talking about stuff, sharing my messages. If I got some people involved in the conversation, fantastic. And some of my friends, you guys, they've been with me from the beginning, have been really tolerant of me, asking you for feedback and things like that. And now I'm in a different phase. So, particularly if you've come on board and you've been part of the gang for the last kind of year, 18 months, you'll have felt that it doesn't feel like that sometimes. It feels like, there's real purpose going into the content that I provide. There's some real thought behind what I'm sharing and why, because I've become much clearer about my messages. Now, if I didn't have my goals around doing those things to make myself feel clearer and therefore share more clarity with you guys, my vision would still be there and nothing would change there, but the place I am in relation towards achieving that will be completely different. So for me, when people say, what are the differences between having a vision and having goals? The vision is the big thing you're aiming for, whether that is to buy a house, whether that's to change your lifestyle, move abroad, learn a new hobby, whatever it might be. That's the big thing you're aiming for. The goals are the individual steps, and sometimes they are tiny weeny steps to help you take those steps forward and to progress towards your vision. And you will need to do loads and loads of those little steps. But as you know, the things that I talk about are the little steps done frequently, done regularly, are the things that are going to help to move you towards your vision. So hopefully that's answered any questions that you might have around the difference between a vision and a goal. But do feel free to pop a comment in, ask me any further questions, send me a message if you need any more help or if you want me to clarify anything else for you.